Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for Attack on Titan Season 4, Episode 3. So, we are still following along with our crew over at the other side of the ocean. I don't actually know the name of their town, I just realized that or whatever. But the Marlians, I guess we could call them. That works. So they're planning on another attack going after Parody. They're talking about getting help from the Warhammer Titan, a family that has kept it from fighting other countries all this time, but is apparently changing their mind now. Why, I'm not sure. But I'm really curious to see another Titan that we haven't seen yet. There's only like one, maybe two that we haven't seen yet. So yeah, very interesting. And we had a little moment with Zeke that was like, why did he kind of tip off the people in that room a little bit? Like, is there a chance, like, was that just a little bit of passive aggressiveness coming out, or is there a chance that he's up to something more this whole time? I don't know, but yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next. I'm sure there's a lot more that happened that I didn't talk about, but let's jump into this, shall we? We're gonna start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Hmm. Damn. Is that young Rhina? The fact that we, yeah. Man. Damn. It's the current Jaws. Oh. Hmm, that's his brother that got eaten. Hmm. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, I still, like, feel bad for these people, but also I'm not on their side because they're just brainwashed, you know? Hmm. And then he went to parody and realized they aren't devils. Aaron, you whoa. That was a jump to the opening. All right. I did notice how far, like, it's too bad with the way my early access system works on Patreon, and I'm a little bit ahead of that. For like the whole No Shave November, you guys weren't able to join me during November. You get to still join me, but yeah, it's the 19th of November right now, so we're getting into the last quarter of it, so. And then I gotta figure out what I want to do. I might just trim some of the neck beard after November, but then maybe let the rest of the beard grow out. Because we got serious neck beard. Goes way far down. War. Those openings visuals are brutal. Alright. The Gateway to Hope. Interesting. Uh, damn. Ah, okay. So it is an ability. Hmm. This is pretty cool. What does that mean? Is that how they, like, turn Titans or whatever? Jeez. Hmm. It did. They just practice ran it on a nation. Guy that was talking the most shit, like, didn't get picked. Oh, is that his dad? Yep. Damn. Oh, he has another family. I'm out. Damn. That's sad. It's really interesting that Ymir's Titan looks so much like Jaw's Titan before consuming it. It was already like small and on all fours, you know? If it wasn't for Ymir, we would have had four within the walls. Oh? Oh. He didn't want his brother out here? Damn. Starting to see why Rhina broke. Jeez. I guess it does look like her form could have been thinner and more, like, lanky. Maybe it wasn't. It's just hard to tell with that brief scene. Um, Seeing it again, though, made it feel like it might not have been exactly how we knew it. Annie. Hmm. Damn. Wow, really? Damn. Jeez. Mastered the Colossal in his first try. That's crazy. Jeez. Oh my god. I mean, I guess he heals, but sure he still feels it. God damn. Oh my god. That's so scary. so so he starts emulating Marcel a bit, and maybe that's like, you know, the start of the splitting of the personalities, kinda. Whoops. Sorry about that. God, his face is wild. It's crazy getting more perspective on all of this and just. Hmm. Alright. Well. Oh shit. Who was that hanging? Jeez. Oh. What? Oh shit. I thought that might have been Kenny. I miss Kenny. They talked about this. They talked about like trying to determine the weather with his like body contortions or whatever. That is crazy. I wonder what they think happened. Oh, okay. Damn. Huh. Interesting. Oh. Back when they knew so little. Damn, man. Oh my god. Ominous music with... Was that back at the tower scene? Oh no. Oh no. Ugh. Wow. Rhina. Jesus. If he would have actually died, though, interesting. I wonder what his plan was there. I know that voice actor. That's Eren! He's missing a leg. So Eren's still alive. Okay, so I must have been wrong about the timing of how all this fell. Oh. Yeah. What the heck? I did not expect Eren to be here. Hmm. Damn! Okay, well shit. I did not, honestly, like, I mean, I saw the guy and, you know, obviously he could resemble an older Eren, but I just, in the moment, I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was another Eldian person in this encampment. I didn't think about Eren being in some kind of accident where he lost his memory. So because he doesn't have his memory, does he not heal? Or did he somehow lose the Titan power, you know? I don't know. I'm really curious to... Wow, and he's here in the same area that Rhina is, too? Neither of them recognize each other, one because of memory loss, one because of how different he looks, probably, you know? It's so interesting. I mean, I clearly feel like we're gonna have a moment where we build up to this on the other side, maybe, where we get to see everything that happened to Eren to get to that point, you know? But what happens when Eren remembers? Like, if he gets that memory back? Huh. Alright, guys, that is probably... Yeah, no preview. That is it, guys, for episode 3. I need to go back to the very first thing he said because I was so captivated by the voice. I didn't necessarily listen to exactly what he said. I know he said he lost his memory. Yeah, he calls Falco over. He wasn't able to talk for a time, it seems. Oh, wait. Okay, this is why I went back. I'm so sorry, guys. This is why I went back. So he's in a psych ward kind of thing, and he says he has amnesia, but he doesn't. He just doesn't want to go back. What would cause Eren not want to go back? What happened? Like, did something happen to Mikasa and Armin or something like that, where, like, he doesn't want to be there anymore? Did they find out about, like, his ability to, like, come into contact with, Historia? And did, like, the government do some crazy shit, you know? Like, man, like Eren was the most dedicated to like the freedom moment and like being like freeing Parody and everything from this Marleyan subjugation that's been happening by them dropping Titans on them and all that. So or is he like, could it all be some kind of ploy that he's, you know, maybe he's just saying this to Falco just cuz? But he also hasn't lost his memory, so I guess he has control over his healing factor and just is choosing not to regrow and everything. Man. Okay, that makes me even more curious now. I thought, like I said, I was too focused on listening to the VA. That was my bad, that I didn't fully grasp what he was saying. And it just, like, took me by surprise and everything. And then, like, it dawned on me that it was Eren, and I was like, oh shit, you know? But yeah, what the heck? So, yeah, I guess, or something happened where he doesn't have his Titan form anymore. If, like, somehow we found the science to be able to, like, extract it from someone, which lets them live past the time frame. But I thought there was something, for some reason in first episode, of season 4, I can't remember why I wrote it down, but they talked about, like, 9 years ago or something. I wrote down 9 years ago. I think it might have been a passing mention of one of the characters, but maybe it was 9 years ago was a moment prior to where we left off with our characters, where Eren only had 8 years, you know? Maybe it was 9 years ago when they first entered. Maybe it was like Reina or something talking about when they first went to Parody, and maybe that was 9 years ago, which would mean that, like, I mean, I did also write down 4 years too. A 4-year war over Fort Slava. So I guess that we don't necessarily know when they started the war. They could have started, you know, they could have started that war immediately after, like, Reina left for Parody, and then Reina could have came back 4 years later, and we could be picking up right where we left off. But obviously, with how old Eren is, that's definitely not the case. So Eren hasn't died yet from the 13-year rule, it seems like. So I'm thinking it was probably 9, like, maybe it's only 4 years, roughly, since the end of Season 3. Which would give Eren another 4 years, roughly, maybe, left in him. I don't know. Either way, I apologize for apparently messing that one up, because I thought Eren might have been dead already. It makes so much more sense for the story for him not to be dead yet, because I was like, man, are we, like, after episode 1, I was like, man, are we just getting, like, a flash forward and then we're just gonna cut back? Like, but no, we're getting a flash forward and Aaron's still here. I don't know. Very interesting. But okay, we had a lot of Rhina this episode. So much focus on him and his motivations, and you know, his mom was very distraught that, you know, she was Eldian and not Marleyan. She just wanted to be with Rhina's father, but they couldn't, so Rhina felt this obligation to become a warrior in order to you know, become Marleyan and give his mom the life she wanted. That's the thing, is a lot of these characters' motivations and everything, they hit home, they're impactful, but at the same time, I can't help but think about, like, the more I see the Marleyans, the more I really don't think they're good. You know, even if they were subjugated, they are not, like, for people who were, sometimes people who are subjugated, all they want is, like, vengeance and stuff, but they seem power hungry, not just vengeance. Like, they gave the power of the Titans to these kids and then just threw them on a practice run to some random nation that they toppled. So they just, for whatever reason, decided to topple this nation. Now, we don't know. Maybe that other nation are horrible people that were trying to overthrow them. Maybe. But it's also possible that this is just an innocent nation where they're just like, oh, let's just expand our territory. Go have at it, Titans. You know? So the way they treat the Eldians and all that, and just, you know, they have a whole bloodline of people that they can just control to do their bidding. I mean, it's essentially slavery, right? Like, it's a way for them to justify slaves by using this excuse, and for all we know, maybe none of it's true, but maybe some of it is true, and maybe that's why Eren doesn't want to go back. Is it possible that somehow Eren got the memories of what the Eldian people did in the past, and that caused him to have kind of the same ideology as the Marleyans? I hope not. You know, but I'm really curious. I do hope that we get, like, memories of the past kind of deal. Like, I know it might not matter, and I can write it off in my own head that it doesn't matter what happened in the past. It's about the present and what you do with the power that you're given and everything. I can write that off in my own mind, but there's still a major part of me that wants to know, like, did the Eldians really subjugate people the way the Marleyans say for, like, 1800 years or whatever it was, and then they finally overthrew them 100 years ago or whatnot? Or is it all bullshit, and this is just like some big grand story the Marleyans came up with and just, you know, just washed history to, we already saw that happen in parody, you know, to favor their society and give them the ability to subjugate these people. All these people might have been innocent the whole time. Maybe none of them did anything wrong. Can you imagine the reaction of people like Rhina or Zeke or something like that to find out that their people, like, they've been fighting against their own people that they thought were demon bloods this whole time, and they actually did nothing wrong. It was the people they were working for just trying to, you know, justify their own wars and reasons for fighting. But anyway, Rhina's dad had no interest in him. Going back to Rhina, with Rhina's whole past, when Rhina confronted him after becoming a warrior, his dad apparently had a whole different family and everything, and just took off. Was like, nope, don't care about you. So one of Rhina's entire reasons was gone. He did find the reason to keep going, to just try to give his mom a better life, you know, regardless of whether they have a dad or not, and everything. But yeah, losing Marcel and then him trying to take on that role of Marcel, and then meeting the cadets and kind of liking them, but also having that, like, we need to be the reason they're all gonna die and everything. So it's like, yeah, I understand why his personality collapsed the way that it did. But yeah, it was pretty interesting. There were a couple moments where it was like, alright, I already got the gist of how some of this stuff went down. I didn't really need to see it again. But there were other aspects of seeing it from their perspective, which was really interesting. I did really like the scene of them going through all of the the candidates and the Titans they were given, and like talking about why they were given and their like special abilities, like how the female Titan does have the ability to call Titans just over the course of a limited range. So what Annie did in the forest when we were trying to capture her, that was an actual ability. It wasn't just like she yelled and the Titans ran to a loud noise. That was something we kind of speculated, is that maybe it wasn't a power, maybe the Titans just heard it and ran there, you know. But no, so she was able to kind of call them over a shorter range. They mentioned the specialness of the Beast Titan being in his blood, which is interesting. I wonder if like if it was just his blood. Didn't we see him do something with blood too? When no, he just yelled. But maybe it was like his blood that was infused in all of them that he remotely activated when they dropped them off of the airship. And he did his yell. So other than that, there could be just something else about the Beast Titan that's like special with the blood that we just haven't seen yet. So that'll be interesting to find out, I guess. I did like with Rhina trying to end himself the way that he was, and then he decided not to because of seeing like the next generation of kids and all that. It just really makes me wonder if he would have did that and it would have actually killed him, that would have sent the Titan somewhere else. And there's a chance, I don't know what the population differences are. I don't know how many Eldians are here versus in parity. But if there's more in parity, that means the odds are that it would fall to parity, like someone born there. Was that Rhina's plan? Is there a part of Rhina that actually wanted... Like, it's really funny because we kind of have this parallel between Eren being here saying he doesn't want to go back. So I don't know if he somehow doesn't like parity anymore. But then we have Rhina, who might have just been trying to do something to help parity, you know, in a like a roundabout way. But, you know, I could see those two parallels kind of being together where like Rhina's converting more towards parity and Eren's converting more towards this side. I don't know. I'm really fascinated to see where this all goes, and will there be a moment that Rhina recognizes Eren? You know, like they're so close, they're right there. Is that a possibility? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah. Man. I can't get over how they did an immaculate job of making me be like, oh, these guys are, you know, they're attacking us, they're assholes, like what reason do they have to attack with Rhina and Bertholdt and all that? But then we have their side of the story, and it's still wrong what they did, in my opinion. But one, they're following orders. Two, they're pretty much brainwashed from childhood to believe these things that they've been told, and they're fighting a war because of that, thinking what they're doing is in the right based on, you know, these lies and all that. Because despite what you say, even if the Eldians did subjugate people for 1800 years, the people living in those walls didn't do that. They ran away to try to be peaceful, and you're attacking a peaceful, like an attempt at a peaceful colony just because you want... at one point they said there was like, one, they want the Founding Titan, and didn't they like... Or maybe their excuse was the resources. There's like heaps of resources underneath parity. Like, maybe that's the excuse, but they really just want the Founding Titan? I don't know. Because if they get the Founding Titan power, you know, they're already doing a good job of controlling the narrative of history, but they can just wipe anyone's memories. Or I guess maybe it only works on Eldians. Is it possible? Is it possible that if you're not, like, are there people within the walls that aren't pure Eldian? And is that why they're immune to being memory wiped? Can the king, or can the Founding Titan only memory wipe pure Eldians? Which would be really interesting, because Kenny's family is one of the ones that's immune, which is also kind of Mikasa's family a little bit, too. and we know that Mikasa's like Asian descent, so like, is it possible that she came from somewhere else and just ended up in Parody and but isn't Eldian? I don't know. I'm trying to think of if there's been any, because there's all kinds of like mystical stuff around Eldian and all that. I'm trying to think if there's anything that would have told us like, yeah, she's 100% Eldian, but I don't know. And that just makes me wonder, like, do any of the people that know this, do they realize that they're not Eldian or whatnot, or has there been too many generations and like information being skewed that they don't even like realize that they all just think they're one people? I don't know. Like, do some of the nobles that couldn't be memory wiped, do they know? Who knows? Just a random thought I just had now with that whole aspect. But yeah, very, very interesting, guys. Can't wait to learn more. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hit that subscribe button if you did. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more. 2 episodes ahead through the early access tier on there. Links in the description below. Should be popping up on the screen. I'll see you in my future reactions. Bye-bye.